Today is another fine day for staying inside.
The lockdown continues today.
What's up, guys? It's John.
The people don't even look at people. Just stay inside.
What's up, guys? It's Jon Eleyet. How we all holding up? These are some crazy times we're living in, huh? I mean, like, things are kind of nuts right now. I never thought this year would start off any way like how it has. It's kind of unbelievable. But you know what? This is where we're at. I know a lot of us are stuck at home. We're not allowed to really go outside or go to our jobs. We're not supposed to really interact with people. Don't talk to people. Don't look at people. Don't do anything. Just stay at home. And so I thought I would make a video that would help with our particular social distancing of one another. And you know, maybe your pedal board hasn't really been disinfected in a while and you want to maintain some distance from that. So in today's video, I thought I would show you how I have everything set up to do automated preset changes on the Line 6 POD HD500x. So let's do it. Now, in order for this to work, we do need to use a MIDI cable. I use the M Audio MIDI Sport Uno. Works really great. It's MIDI on one end, USB on the other, and just a really great way to connect MIDI devices to the computer. Because we're only going to be receiving MIDI data, we only need to use the MIDI input on the 500x. Then on the computer, I'm using Ableton Live. Now, this process theoretically could work with other DAWs. However, I just can't tell you exactly what you need to do to make those work. So all I can really say is just like watch what I do in this video with Ableton and see if you can do something similar with your DAW. Here I just have a new track pulled up. Let's go into preferences and make sure everything is set up properly. So under the MIDI tab, I just need to make sure that track and remote are enabled for the MIDI output. This is going to allow Ableton to send MIDI data to the 500x. And then I also need to make sure that I have a MIDI track available for my MIDI clips. So I'll just use this first one here. And I'm just gonna make sure the output of it is set for my USB Uno MIDI interface. You're gonna be playing along with this project file. So you need to make sure that your BPM is set properly, and you're gonna wanna make sure that you have some sort of click track or metronome going so you can stay perfectly in time with your track. So for the sake of this video, let's just say that we need to do a preset change right here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click and drag, then I right click, and I go Insert MIDI Clip, and now I have a blank MIDI clip added. Then what I'm gonna do is down here in this notes section, there are 3 parameters that I'm going to be concerned with. We have bank, sub, and program. Now, if we just want to change between presets that are in the same set list, this is a little bit easier, and we only need to focus on the program change parameter. So if we take a look at my 500X, I'm currently on preset 1A. Now, if I wanted to change to preset 1B, what I would do is I would come down here to program, and I'm going to click and drag up to program number 2. I'm going to click in front of this MIDI clip on my MIDI track. I'm going to hit play and watch what happens to the 500X. See that? As soon as that cursor hit this MIDI clip, it changed the preset on the 500X from preset 1A to preset 1B. Now let's click and select our MIDI clip again. If we did program change 3 and do the same thing, watch what happens. Now we're at 1C. And guess what's going to happen when I go to program change 4? Yup, you guessed it, 1D. Now, something to keep in mind. On the 500X, there are 8 set lists. Within each set list are 16 banks, and each bank contains 4 presets, A, B, C, and D. Now, as far as Ableton is concerned, it's only thinking of 64 presets all in consecutive order. This means that if we want to change to preset 2A, then we need to do program change number 5. Okay, so if I put the cursor in front of this clip, hit play, there we go, it jumps to 2A. And this will continue on. So if you wanted to find, let's say, preset 4C, you need to count down how many presets until you get to 4C. Or you can try to math it out in your head. So let's see if I can pull this off. Bank 4, so there's 3 banks ahead of it. Each of those banks has 4 presets. So that's 12 presets. 4A would be 13, 14, 15. So if I click my MIDI clip again, change it to program 15, we're gonna test myself here, see if I got my math right. Put the cursor ahead of the clip and hit play. Let's see what happens. Boom, there we go. 4C. See how that works? So just think of the presets in numerical order. Now, here's one tricky thing. In Ableton, it starts my program change with the number 1, but on some other software or some other MIDI devices, they might actually start at 0. So if that's the case for you, then just shift everything down 1. So if you wanted to do preset 1A, you would make that one program change 0. And then preset 1B would be program change 1, and so on and so forth. So it's a little tricky, but it just kind of is what it is. Okay, so back to our example song. Let's say that this is like where our chorus happens, and I want to change presets. So I have that clip. Let's just say a little later on, let's say here's a guitar solo. And so I want to do another preset change. I'll just click and drag, right click, insert MIDI clip. And then I can tell it what I want it to be. Let's just give it a random number. This could be my guitar solo preset. And you just continue this for any of the spots where you have a preset change in your song. A couple of small details. It's probably gonna be helpful to put a MIDI clip at the very beginning of your song and make this be the first preset that you use, just so you can ensure that when that song starts, you're gonna be on the proper preset. Also, it can be helpful to drag these MIDI clips all the way until the next preset change. And you could right click and you could color code them a little bit just so you can tell them apart. So this is a good way that, like, if you are doing rehearsals and you kind of need to jump into the song at a weird spot, as long as you drop the cursor somewhere within that MIDI clip, as soon as you hit play or record, it's gonna switch to that preset. So this is all great for changing between presets that are in the same set list, but let's say you wanna switch to presets that are in different set lists. Let's take a look at how to do that. So I'm gonna add another MIDI clip right here. For this, there's just a couple extra steps that we need to do. Let's take a look at our set list. So I'm in this 3rd set list. let's just say that we want to get to, how about preset 4A in the first set list. We'll come over here to our notes section of that MIDI clip. Under this bank parameter, we're going to click and drag, and as far as I can tell, this number really doesn't matter. You just need to put something in here, and this bank parameter, this basically tells the 500X, hey, we're going to change to a different set list, so like get ready. Then in this sub parameter, this is where we tell the 500X which set list that we want. So if I want to go to the first set list, I'll click and drag, and I'll just go to 1. Again, if on your software or your MIDI device, it starts with 0, then that will be your set list 1. Then under program change, this works just like it did before for picking the preset in that set list. So what did I say? I wanted to do 4A. So that's going to be preset number 13. So I'm going to click and drag until I get to 13, like that. I'm going to drop my cursor a little bit ahead of that. So I think we're going to see the 500X change to this preset, and then when it gets to this yellow region, it's going to change presets again. So let's watch it do that. All right, so there it changed to 7D, and we want to see 4A once it gets to this yellow spot. There we go. I'm going to stop the track, and let's double check, and we can see that now it's switched to that first set list. One thing to keep in mind though, the set lists, they go left to right as they go down. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now all you have to do is just repeat this process for all the preset changes that you have in your song. And if you want to, you can string together your entire set. You could put multiple songs all in a row. Just make sure that in the master track that you set tempo automations, so that Ableton will adjust the tempo for each new song. Also, if you prefer to build your live sets using the clip view, we can also do a similar thing. So we just need to have a new MIDI track, and we can double click, then just the same deal as before, put in the preset information into here as needed. Then as soon as you hit the play button, the 500X is going to change to that preset. And then you just do the same thing as you work your way down that track. Okay guys, there you go. That's how you can automate preset changes on your 500X by using MIDI in Ableton Live. Hopefully this video wasn't like too confusing. I tried to explain this as best as I could. If you do have any questions, be sure to post them in the comments below, and I'll try to respond as quickly as I can. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. But until then, be safe, stay healthy. Okay guys, see you later.